Now you might look at me at the age of 27 and think, this girl doesn't need Botox. But I actually think for a few years now, I've not felt the age that I am, simply because I have wrinkles. I spent so many years needing glasses and not wearing them. It's kind of left me with movement around here that is a constant crease, because I think that having permanent creases and wrinkles has actually aged me more than I am for my age. The way that Botox works is it's injected into the face with a needle. I know needles. And where the muscles are pulling and contracting, the Botox goes into the muscle and stops those signals to the brain, which causes the muscles to pull up. So they just relax instead. And as a result, the areas where your skin is kind of bunched and creased, they just release.
It would be a case of sort of waiting to see the effect that you get from that in terms of the line reduction, and we can then come back at a later stage if we want to make it more. So it doesn't have to go in very deep because the muscle's just underneath the skin. So
I thought Botox was supposed to hurt, like be quite a, I guess where it goes, maybe.
Yeah.
Non-invasive almost.
Well, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, but
no. That's easier than tattooing.
Okay.
There's a lot, you wouldn't actually know that was a needle. It just feels like a push on the skin. It doesn't feel like a needle.
Good.
Yeah. I was really psyching myself up to think that needles in the head would hurt. I didn't have any numbing or anything. I don't know if they numb for Botox normally, but I had no treatment put on my forehead before the injecting began. Literally just a wipe to cleanse any sweat and dirt, really, to make sure the area was clean. I decided to have Botox only in the middle of my head. You can see a bruise here. This is from one of the needles, because Nick explained that if you hit a blood vessel, you can cause a bruise, and they're located all over the skin. But bruises go down as normal, a few days' time, they lighten off. And as of tomorrow, I can just pop some foundation over it because the holes close very quickly and heals as a pinprick would, really. There's no kind of risk of infection or anything like that. So we spoke before in the consultation about where to put the Botox and what I wanted as a requirement of it. So when Nick looked at my wrinkles that were constantly across my head, he agreed that the actual wrinkles are from my expressions, from lifting my head up like that all the time. And so having the Botox just in the middle, it would mean that, the side part of my head is able to move and I don't look too frozen. If you do the full forehead with Botox, you can look very stern. Botox takes a while to kick in. So even though I had my treatment an hour ago now, it will take about 3 to 5 days, up to 2 weeks before it fully takes effect, if it does take effect. So at the moment, straight after my treatment, you can see I can move as normal. In all, I had about 10 injections. They were dotted around and it targeted the muscles in the middle. Too close to the eyes would have caused my eyebrows to droop, or it could run down the back of the socket and cause an eye to fall down. So it's important that you kind of stick to where it should be and don't be tempted to fix all the different areas and have the perfect face, because you're not going to be able to achieve that if you hit something and it goes wrong. You can cause black eyes if you hit a blood vessel around the eye, especially when you have crow's feet. It's quite common to have black eyes. Because Nick is a surgeon, he is so used to taking faces apart, peeling people open, seeing where the bones are and the muscles. And he has such an understanding of where everything should go. He knows the perimeters, he knows within a millimetre of what line you should keep behind. And I think going to a surgeon to have a cosmetic treatment done, you have the best treatment possible. And my Botox can last now for around 3 to 4 months. And if I want to have it redone, if I want to have more, if I wanted 2 syringes instead of 1 syringe, I can speak to Nick about that and kind of chew over the facts and say, this is what I did like and this is what I didn't like. I enjoyed the movement, or I was moving too much. You see what works for you, and then you go with that, really. So the needles themselves were so fine. It didn't even feel like a needle. It didn't feel like an injection. I couldn't feel fluid going in. It didn't hurt. It's been amazing. So I'm going to be taking pictures for the next few days to show you throughout the treatment and how long it lasts as well, because some people it can last maybe 12 weeks. Other people it can last up to 6 months.